Hey, Betabounders! Thank you so much for joining our Ambassador webinar. The topic for today is community surveys from 2019. We're going to dive into some of those results. We know it's definitely crazy times in the world right now, and we really appreciate you all being here. We're super lucky to still be able to work and to still have a community that supports us through everything that's going on right now. So the topic of today's webinar is a little bit different. We're super excited for it. We're going to be able to jump in and actually review some of the results from the surveys that we ran throughout 2019. So a lot of you have participated in these surveys. Most of you have been invited to a couple, if not most of them. And they're super cool because we get to just collect really awesome information. And it's not very frequent that we are able to share that information back with you guys. But we do know that it's a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun to take a survey and actually see the results from it, as opposed to just sort of submitting it and seeing it go into a black hole, So something that we're going to do is work on exposing some of that information a little bit more to make it more where you're kept in the loop in terms of what's going on. And we hope the information that we're going to show here today is interesting and encourages you to actually see that the information you're submitting is making a difference. So let's jump right into it. Real quick again, we always start out these webinars with a little bit about us. My name is Brad. I'm Betabound's community director. With me today we have Conrad, who is our technographic specialist, and then Ulysses, who is our recruitment lead. And the topic of today's presentation is to discuss some of the highlights from last year's community surveys. Real quick, let's start with a quick update on what we have been up to so far in 2020. We're only 3 months in, but we've done a good amount of stuff already. We've been pretty active within Betabound. So 2020 so far, we'd like to thank our ambassadors who have participated in our various ambassador opportunities so far. So thanks to you guys, we've been able to find gamers that live in China. We've been able to recruit Spanish speakers that live in both the United States and in Mexico to participate, in some of our Betabound exclusive tests. And we also grew the number of Betabounders in Brazil with our first micro community opportunity earlier this year, which is really cool because it makes it possible to include Brazilians in future Betabound opportunities. The ambassador program is going really well, and it's super awesome to have all these opportunities. We're always super ecstatic at the amount of people that are participating and the amount of rewards we're able to send out as well. To keep that momentum going, so I'd just like to highlight, we did recently launch a new micro-community effort for our ambassadors. So we are looking to increase the number of prepaid mobile phone users within Betabound. So if you know anyone who is on a pay-as-you-go type mobile phone plan, be sure to refer them to Betabound and make sure that they use your ambassador code when they sign up. This is a great way to get those folks involved with Betabound. We've had a couple questions come in about, hey, what if I already use a pay-as-you-go mobile phone plan? I'm already part of Betabound. That's totally fine. That's awesome. And that means you're already on the list of people that are going to be invited to these tests that we have coming up. We're just looking to increase the number of folks who are on that list. So if you do know anybody, please be sure to refer them and, again, have them use your code. Referring at least one person who is a prepaid mobile phone user will enter you into a giveaway that we're going to do for a couple $20 US Amazon gift cards. This ambassador opportunity will close on April 14th, so you still have some time, but be sure to tell your friends and loved ones about Betabound before then if they're a fit. Your referrals really do help make a difference in helping our clients find the most qualified people for their current and future tests. So really thank you again. The whole ambassador program has been going great. Next up, so some of you might have noticed that we have been revitalizing our blog over the last few weeks. We revamped our blog early in 2020 to keep you all updated on the newest stuff going on with Betabound. So every week we are posting a new blog post on the Betabound blog. We're going to cover an array of topics. Some of them are going to update our more classic entries from a while back. Others might, introduce some new changes to Betabound, some tips and tricks on being the best tester you can be. We definitely recommend checking it out, especially now that it's becoming more and more active. One of our latest blog posts focused on how to best participate in our public Betabound exclusives, which you can see over on the right-hand side of the screenshot here. And on that note, let me go to the next slide. So we launched our first public Betabound exclusive of 2020 just a few weeks ago. This was for an Android game called The Paladin's Story. This is a medieval open-world role-playing game. Thousands of you participated, and your feedback was so awesome. It was really instrumental in making improvements to the mobile game. The developer was just over the moon with how active everybody was. If you weren't able to participate in this one, that's totally fine. Don't worry about it. Be on the lookout for more. We are really trying to ramp up the amount of public opportunities that we can host within Betabound. And the reason for that is because these public betas are a great way for you to become familiar with our testing platform. It's a great way for you to explore some new products that you might not see otherwise. As well as interact with other testers and product developers. But probably the most important reason that we recommend participating in these types of projects is that they help you build up your reputation within Betabound. So by participating in these ones, we know they're public. We know that they might not be the most interesting thing in the world for you at that given time, right? It's not like one of our private opportunities where we're only able to pick a certain amount of people. However, that being said, some of the products are really awesome. And by participating in these, you're building up your reputation, and that's going to help increase your chances of being picked for those private ones. So every time we have a private opportunity, we have a ton of people apply, but only a certain number of slots that we can fill up. So our goal is to always try and fit as many people as we can in, but ultimately we can't take everybody. So the way we handle that is by looking at people's reputation, looking at who's applying, looking at who's the most passionate, to try to always fit as many people as we can in. So now that you're all caught up with sort of where we are in 2020, I'm going to hand it over to Ulysses to take a closer look at our community surveys from the last year.
Thanks, Brad. We ran a bunch of community surveys last year, but you might be asking yourself, what's a community survey? Well, it's pretty simple. Our community surveys aim to gauge your thoughts on specific aspects of technology and product testing. Our topics vary as we try and capture what you might be feeling about a new technology that's on the rise, or what your favorite tech gift might be to give or receive during certain holidays. We reach out via email as soon as we publish them, and you've got a couple of weeks to submit your responses. Thousands of you have participated and gave us your thoughts, and we're excited to share the results of our most popular community surveys from the past year. Last April, we launched our home security survey. As security systems have become more accessible with the rise of smart home products, this survey sought to find out how popular and adopted this technology is amongst our Betabounders. When we asked if you currently own a home security system, we found that 8% of people polled said that they did not currently own one and were not interested. We'll touch back on these participants and their reasons in a little bit. At 58%, the majority of people said they do not have one but are interested in purchasing a security system sometime soon. That means that 34% of people already own one. These results aren't too surprising. Our Betabounders tend to be early adopters, so the rise of smart home gadgets like smart doorbells and smart cameras can attest to the popularity of this kind of tech. We then asked those who currently own a home security system or are interested in purchasing one what the most important features are. Having a video surveillance device was across the board the most important feature for people. Whether you're just trying to keep an eye on the comings and goings of your home's entrance, or you're just excited to check in with your pets and see what they get up to when you're not there. Having a live video feed can be quite comforting. Being able to access and control a security system with a mobile phone was a close second. Many of these companies have mobile apps to pair with their device that allow you to control your video camera or utilize a microphone, making it very convenient to check the status of your home on the go. Rounding out the features are motion detecting devices, 24/7 monitoring from professional security services, and a personal emergency response system. Now, back to those 8% with no interest in purchasing a home security system. There were a few reasons as to why this technology isn't something they'd like to adopt. There were sentiments all pointing out that these systems might not be reliable. But at 32%, the majority mentioned that these systems are just too expensive and they cost too much money. I can definitely see why someone wouldn't want to invest in a system that they think might ultimately not work. Now that we've covered the home, let's move on to a topic that's a little closer to the palm of our hand. Back in August, we launched a community survey focused on a very vital part of owning a smartphone: mobile app updates. Do you jump for joy when a new version of your favorite mobile app automatically updates, or are you worried about something going awry and wait for a more stable version of the app to be released? We asked our participants, which of the following best describes your method for updating mobile apps? And these were our results. 66% of respondents said, my mobile apps update automatically. And 34% said, I manually update my mobile apps. Even though there weren't enough people to make up a percentage, 17 respondents out of a few thousand mentioned they never update their apps. Out of those that prefer to automatically update their mobile apps, more than half at 53% noted that it's very convenient for this to happen automatically than to do so manually. Other reasons include wanting to be the first to experience new features and to fix any lingering bugs or issues from previous software builds. A very small percentage of people didn't care about mobile app updates. If it's not breaking your app's functionality or your device, it's probably easy to not notice that anything's happened. Those that prefer to manually update their mobile apps overwhelmingly chose control as the main reason. Whether it is over which apps are updated or when they are updated, 85% are making that decision. 9% of people mentioned that they'd like to see a new software build go through some more quality testing. If you've ever had an update affect some of your favorite features or implement new additions that weren't quite ready, it's easy to see why you'd wait and make sure that any new bugs or issues have been fixed. The rest noted that they only update apps when connected to a Wi-Fi network. Some of these updates can be quite hefty, so you might not want to spend a chunk of your mobile data just to refresh your software. Let's continue our deep dive with something that you can do on your mobile devices and a variety of other gadgets. Streaming. We launched the video streaming subscription survey back in September. With the rise of available streaming services, this survey dug deeper into what streaming services are most popular and what gets you to subscribe to these particular companies. We also wanted to get a general sense of how many services you subscribe to or have access to, and what makes you a customer. We started by asking people what kind of access they had to their streaming accounts, and a vast majority are the primary account holder. It looks like we've got some real streaming fans in our community, as they are making the purchasing decision to have one or more of these services added to their monthly bills. 19% of people are primary account holders, but also share access to other accounts. 6% are solely using someone else's account, and the rest do not use any of the available video streaming services. The remaining 3% might be using cable or satellite, or just not that interested in movies or TV. To those with access, the majority of people polled, 79%, stated that they are currently subscribed to or have access to 3 or more streaming services. 17% have subscriptions or access to 7 or more streaming services, while only 6% of people are only using one streaming service. With as many options for streaming as we have, it's not surprising that most people have more than a few options to keep themselves entertained. When it comes to popularity, the top 3 streaming services are Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and Hulu. While there are other services mentioned, most of our members subscribe to at least one of those 3, if not all 3 at once. The most important features people want out of any subscription service are streaming quality and varied and up-to-date content. Since we launched this survey at a time where many upcoming services had just been announced, we were curious to see if anyone would be adding to their library. While Disney Plus and Apple TV Plus were highly anticipated and had successful launches last November, almost half of you were not looking forward to adding any upcoming streaming platforms. I wonder if anyone has changed their mind since. To wrap up our research, let's discuss gift giving. Closing off 2019 is our Holiday Tech Buys survey. We like to see what Betabounders do during the holiday shopping rush and see how and if you participate in this yearly tradition. With 47%, the majority of respondents are doing their holiday buying online. The convenience of fast delivery options and a wider selection of stock from Amazon and other online retailers make it no surprise that so many people rely on online stores for their shopping needs. 45% of people are taking advantage of both in-store and online options, while the remaining 8% only utilize their local stores and small businesses. It is nice to see that there are still people helping out their local economies by visiting and purchasing from places just around their neighborhood. We asked what tech products you were considering buying or have already purchased, and we had a pretty close race with the following types. Smart home products topped the list of the most popular category during the holiday season with 58%. Voice control assistants like Amazon Echo and Google Home make for excellent stocking stuffers, so I can see how these top that list. Headphones made a strong showing with 52%. Truly wireless headphones or earbuds like AirPods and Galaxy Buds have been very popular all year round, even experiencing shortages due to high demand. It should come at no surprise then that these would make a great gift for yourself or a loved one. Closing out this list are gaming peripherals, laptops or tablets, smart TVs, and smartphones. When asked what drives your decision to make a return, the number one reason people would return a gift is that it was broken or defective, which is why we believe so strongly in product testing here at Betabound. If those products had proper testing during their beta phase, both consumers and companies would benefit from having the best product possible. That wraps up our survey highlights. We hope you found these as fascinating as we did. We appreciate your insights and eagerness to be involved in our community and are keeping track of who is completing these community surveys. They are totally optional, but your level of engagement here will be considered when our test managers are selecting people for their next Betabound exclusive. And with that, I'll pass it along to Conrad to close off this presentation.
Thank you so much, Ulysses, and thank you for sharing the insights that we were able to gather from these recent community surveys. I also want to just again extend that gratitude to the broader Betabound community members that have taken the time to complete these surveys. Having this insight helps us just understand your attitudes and perspective on various types of technology. I'm going to take a look at the new developments we have going on and share those with you guys. On the topic of surveys, we actually have a new community survey available now. Along with that, we also have 2 new test platforms. The new community survey is a smart appliances survey. So we launched this sometime last week, and this time around, we'd like to get your thoughts on smart appliances. Things like smart locks or smart doorbells, even smart ovens, that sort of thing. The survey is going to be available for just a limited amount of time. So if you're interested in filling this out, we'd love to hear from you as soon as possible. And after this is all done and complete, and once we take down the survey, you might find that we have a smart appliance test platform in the near future. On the topic of test platforms, I mentioned we have 2 new test platforms that are now readily available. So starting today, you can fill out a test platform for a smart switch or outlet and a smart irrigation controller. The smart switcher outlet test platform is considered to be a device that grants wireless or remote control over devices that plug into electrical outlets or devices that otherwise wouldn't be smart. This outlet typically grants you the ability to remotely control the energy output or to simply turn the device on and on. The other test platform, the smart irrigation controller, is an internet-connected device as well. This is an irrigation system or controller that grants remote gardening control. Gardeners should be very familiar with this sort of technology. Lastly, I just wanted to give a reminder about our previous 2 test platforms. We had a test platform released for a smart hub or bridge, and another one for a VR headset. If you guys have any of these devices, feel free to check out our list of test platforms and start completing different profiles for these pieces of technology. We use test platforms to help better understand what products you have in your product ecosystem, and it also helps us pair you with tests that matter the most to you, that you are the best fit for. And that's it from me, and that's everything we wanted to cover today. I just want to thank you again for joining us. If you have any questions at all, we've attached a Google form below. You can also reach out to us by the usual means, via email or Twitter. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you all next time.